Do you know I'm allergic to pickles?
Haha, good one. No, I didn't know, but you're gonna be fine, okay? Hey guys, and welcome to another chapter of the Malt Chronicles, and we'd all like to say a happy St. Patrick's Day to you.
Well,
Time to run into you. I mean, clearly you don't have to be wearing green to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. Come on, really? Is it really that much of a thing? I got green around me. I got green bottles right in front of me. So come on.
Any other complaints you want to fuck?
Anyway, so today we have some fantastic Jamesons right in front of us. We have the Caskmates edition. We have the Caskmates Stout edition. We have the IPA edition. But right next to them, we have a Guinness that we're going to compare it with the Stout. And we have an IPA that we're going to try with the IPA edition. Let's see what happens.
Just to see if those flavors are in the actual whiskey.
Yeah.
And it, David.
yeah.
I've got a question for you guys. What is the Stout cask and the IPA going to do to the actual whiskey?
Right.
What are we going to find here?
These are two Jamesons, which after the first release of the Caskmates, I think they were playing around with different breweries where they were taking their barrels to the brewery, where the brewery was filling it with their liquid, and they were sent back to Jamesons, and then they were aging or finishing the spirit into that. Straight away from the beginning, it caught my attention. I haven't tried yet the IPA, I've tried this, but I'm curious if that beer note, that style of beer note that they choose is gonna end up in the actual liquid.
Yeah, absolutely. But what we're gonna do now then? So should we start off with the Stout cask edition first?
No, let's start with the green one.
Oh, they're both green. They're both green.
This is black.
Butter.
Okay.
So we're gonna start with the IPA as we haven't tried this one first. So
They have about what 5-10 minutes in the glasses now, so we should get those
We
flavors.
should get the full flavour come through
Absolutely.
now.
Yeah, there's IPA in there.
yeah,
Yeah. So
definitely
IPA
getting that floral note.
is a much more hoppy and alcoholic type of pale ale type of beer, which originally I think it was made for India.
Yeah.
But then it got very popular and it came into Europe as well, like all the good Indian things.
Exactly.
Jesus
But I
Christ.
believe they like to call it the IPA and call it the Irish Pale Ale.
Well, there's definitely more of a citrus tone in there as well.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
much more than what you get on the original Jamesons. And there's Vas is right. That hobby note's there.
It's very zesty. It reminds me of lime peel, but it's very hoppy. It's almost like fresh dough. If you would take fresh
okay.
dough.
I'm getting like a tanginess as well.
Get me back to my childhood.
Do you know what? On the nose, that actually really smells very interesting.
Smells like beer. Good. That's a good start.
All right, here we go.
Let's go.
Very creamy in the beginning.
Definitely.
Very light, but then it hits you with the beer presence. Like it's all on the finish.
Yep, you get that freshness of the beer, absolutely.
There is that more character there, and it doesn't. It's lasting. It's not just finishing as quick as I expected it to. That's actually very impressive.
Bitterness, a bit nutty. I would say like green almonds when they're not ready yet, when they're not dried.
Yeah, it's definitely, it gives that drier note to it.
Getting a real nice tangy note, and to me it's like having lemon meringue. Get that little sweetness behind it as well.
That's his favorite dessert, lemon meringue.
Yeah, I mean, lemon meringue must be
Like
his favourite
in
dessert.
between shoots, he's like, guys, here's £5. Can you bring me a lemon meringue?
I love the lemon meringue. Who doesn't like a lemon meringue?
Right. Did you know that Jameson prior to 1968, you couldn't buy it as a bottling, you could buy it only as casks?
Yeah, I've heard of that somewhere. Yeah.
Well, you should remember, it's your times. It's like the 60s.
I definitely don't remember that.
Well, how would you think I am?
Right. Stout edition.
Hey, well, Stout is this, you know. All right, so let's go down to the Stout edition then. As a cheap shot, Vas. Let me get you back for it.
Already on the nose, a bit of char, more carbonized, I would say.
Yeah, more.
As what do we have with a stout? It's a roasted barley beer, so that should give that dark hints. What if Darth Vader would drink a beer? It would be a stout.
Yeah.
Probably.
I mean, I'm getting that coffee note, dark chocolatey sort of note to it as well.
Yeah, there's a bit of roastiness into that. So like roasted beans, not as much as coffee as a prepared liquid, but the roastiness side of things.
There's definitely more of a richer, deeper note to the stout cask that I'm finding.
I think it's creamier at first, but then the richness comes through. There's much more depth in it, but I don't think the finish is as long.
Yeah, the finish is more present on the IPA, but it's also a bit more bitter to me. So this as a drink is a bit more rounded, like the marrying of the stout with actual whiskey. It's a bit more friendly with each other, as this one is
A bit more aggressive.
Yeah, it's
there's
more
there's a bit
extreme.
more of a punch there, whereas that's much lighter. It was much more soothing.
I feel like this one would be perfect for like the sort of summertime, and this one was more of a winter dram. That's what I think.
If you have winter in England,
We have plenty of winter in England.
right?
We have plenty of water.
But anyway, what we're going to do now, we're going to actually compare it to some. Actually, we have some stout over here. If you like to get it, we have an IPA over here. Would you like to pop them open? And what we're about to do is we're just going to have a little nose of the Guinness. We've got Guinness over here and this brand Vas.
Some IPA.
Some IPA.
There's an elephant on the label,
Yep.
so it says in there to me.
Oh, come on,
Here's a couple of cool things.
please.
Right. If you would go to Ireland, nobody's gonna mention that John Jameson was actually a sportsman. They keep it as a
yes.
secret. They don't like to share it. He used to be a lawyer that came into Ireland and got married, and his wife's family was into the whiskey industry, so he ended up doing that. It's good to see some experiments from Jameson, as they hold about 70% of the whole sales of Irish whiskies in USA, and they sell over 32 million bottles per year. So with the rise of single malts and with the rise of whiskies in Ireland, they've lost a lot of ground, so they need to recover that with a lot of experiments, with something new. So there's always something new now coming. They've made the cold brew, which is a coffee drink, and they actually have something called wild seaweed bitters from Jameson's,
Wow,
if you're really
okay.
into cocktail. Shall we know this?
But there's also a big contender out there who is actually claiming that he's going to be the next big thing. I mean, he's already conquered the fighting world. We're talking about the proper 12.
Jesus
Come on.
Christ.
The proper 12. Conor McGregor, he's taken over the fighting game. He's taken over the industry, the entertainment industry, and now he's coming for the whiskey. Is he going to do it?
No.
Right, shall we
should we start with the
shall we
same
do the IPA?
IPA, that's where we started.
Ooh, so we want on the nose, we want to see if those
Wow,
flavors
that
are present.
freshness. That floral note. Zesty.
You are getting that more.
Grainy nose.
There's definitely more grainy notes in the actual whiskey itself, though. I'm getting a lot of grain coming through.
So if you take some yeast notes, if you take some grains, so let's say wheat or barley notes, and if you would mix that to some cream, that would be marrying the styles of flavors.
It does smell like when you walk into
Yeah, I'm gonna try
a
it.
mashing
I'm
room.
gonna try it.
This is much sweeter, like massively.
Yeah.
It's far sweeter. The whiskies made it more lighter, easier to approach. I think that the IPA is quite harsh in comparison, and it's just got those bitter notes that
Bitter, dry.
It's much sharper, whereas that's much easier to drink, much more palatable.
I think, the sweetness definitely comes through more on the whiskey.
Right. Stout.
Let's go for the stout.
Dark roasted coffee, chocolatey notes. Yes.
Yes.
That's what we are looking.
Creamy.
That
I'm
smells.
just getting lots of just coffee.
That smells like.
It smells like an espresso.
No, it smells like walking into a still room.
Okay.
Yeah, it smells like a distillery.
I do like a Guinness. I'm a real big fan of Guinness.
Reminds me of brownies.
Okay. That chocolatey note.
Yeah, the stout is much sweeter, so you don't expect that to end up in the liquid as bitter as the IPA. So that complements the whiskey in this case with the sweetness of the whiskey.
It's definitely more creamy, richer, more deeper flavors. A little bit of sort of winter berry notes as well.
I'm not gonna lie, drinking them one after the other has made the whiskey taste a lot better though. Like, I definitely prefer the whiskey.
I'm not sure if that's a compliment or...
I don't think it's a compliment or an insult, it's just my preference.
Would it be so crazy if we actually mix it?
Yes.
That would be too crazy.
Yes.
Too crazy.
That's not St. Patrick's Day yet.
That's for later on.
I know the Irish part from you is just jumping.
I don't know what you're trying to say. I really don't understand. Get those tarties ready.
Right. It's good to see Jameson doing these kind of finishes and experiments.
We like it.
We want to see it more. We've seen some other breweries that we're playing with, but we finally want to see a cider cask on the map. As we heard, that's in the plans, and other Irish distilleries are doing that. We're not going to mention them. What I want to say is Jameson single-handedly hold the Irish industry on its shoulders for all these years, so we have to give credit for the actual whiskey, as it became a legend. And when you think of Irish whiskey, you first think of Jameson's. They've, if I'm not mistaken, John Jameson was the one who really pushed on triple distillation, and once again this is now Irish. This is predominantly made from French corn and Irish wheat, and the guys went to the extent of even trying quadruple distillation. So quadruple distillation. It sounds very scientific again, but we don't see it in the bottling, so probably it didn't it didn't end that good.
Probably became too light and you lost too much flavour.
God knows.
Guys, they also sent a Jameson out in space, didn't they? To see how it would actually mature out there, didn't they?
Happy 1st April.
I knew that. I was only messing around.
Yeah.
No, I like to say, carry on with the experimenting. If I had to pick one from the other today, they're good for different occasions, but just for today, I'm going to go with the IPA for that sort of fresher note.
On the nose, I would go for IPA, but as a whole experience, I'm gonna go with the stout.
Okay.
I'm glad I have both bottles, but I'm going to stick with the stout as well.
Okay.
So it's a bit more easy drinking.
Good.
Fair enough.
Give me an Irish accent.
Now, what we're going to go and do now, we're just going to go and have a little bit more of a celebration for St. Paddy's Day. So, we're Malt Chronicles and we're out for now, and we'll catch you soon.
Happy
Salancha.
Happy Paddy's Day.
Happy
St. Patrick's Day. Pickleback is the #1 shot around the world, which is drunk with Jameson's, and we're about to do that right now. But before we do that, we need some pickle juice. That's right, guys.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. Man up time. Remember, I told you I'm going to get you back, Vas.
Can I just ask what's pickle juice?
Pickle juice, you're going to find out in a minute, my friend.
It's not nice.
Okay, so what you got to do, okay? So first of all, you got to down the shot of Jameson's, and then you got to follow it directly with the pickle juice. And it's meant to be a sensation that everyone needs to try out there. It's called the Pickleback. Look it up. It's very famous. So guys, raise your Jamesons. Raise your Jamesons. Down in one. Ready?
Do I need a bucket?
No. Ready? It's going to be interesting. Trust me. Okay, so Salancha.
Salancha.
We have different perception of interest in
Oh,
That is interesting.
oh, raw.
That was nice.
That's nasty.
Happy St. Patrick's Day!